So back in my sophomore or junior year of high school, thinking back, I can't fully remember off the top of my head, but I was driving with two of my friends to pick up another one of my buddies from his high school after a football game. At the time, I had a bad right blinker, and I didn't even realize, but a cop had been following me and pulled me over literally right outside of his high school. The bus even passed by during the traffic stop. That's how close we were. The first question that he asked me when he pulled me over was, "Do you know that you have a bad blinker?" The very next question is, how much happy lettuce is in the car? Only reason I say happy lettuce is because I don't know if I can say the other word, but you know what I'm saying. At this point, I obviously begin to freak out internally, and I truthfully contemplated my choices between telling the truth and lying. I was trying to think of if there was any single way that I could get out of this scenario right here. And ultimately, I cringed very, very hard, and I just told the officer the truth, that I had a little bit on my person. Now from here, I think I am screwed beyond belief, obviously, and I should have been screwed beyond belief, as at this time, Michigan was not even fully recreational like it is now in 2025. Either way, I still would have been underage on school grounds with it, so it wouldn't have mattered. But because I was honest and upfront from the very beginning with the cop about where it was, how much I had, he decided to spare me and my fate that day and just confiscated the contraband and sent me and my two friends on our way. And my friend, who just got out of football and just passed by, had a whole lot of questions, mainly how we just got off and how we're not sitting in a jail right now. When you're honest, you're kind of forced in a way to think about the long term, because lying usually is just a short-term quick fix that usually doesn't ever take into account what will happen after the fact. Maybe it's a way to dodge a tough conversation or avoid getting in trouble, but the thing is, you're always going to have it catch up to you in the end. You could even say it's like a leaky pipe. It might hold for a little bit, but eventually it is going to give out, and you're now going to be dealing with an even bigger mess. In my case, if I would have lied, the cop would have still found it eventually, and then I would have had another charge for lying with a police officer. Being honest and upfront can be very, very uncomfortable. This is no question about it. But it builds something that lies cannot: trust and rapport. I guess another way to kind of like symbolize this would be to say a structure. If someone lies, they can put a crack in that structure. For the first lie, it may not completely crumble the structure, but it will weaken the integrity of it. And over time, if you continuously lie, the structure eventually will just give out. When you make up one lie, you have to make up a whole nother slew of lies to kind of go along with that, when instead you could just straight up be honest from the beginning, and it will make things a whole lot easier, and it will make for one single story that you don't have to remember a whole bunch of different parts of. One little slip up in that whole lie and the entire thing can unravel. Why not just, be honest? And obviously, in an authoritative setting, honesty is very important, but also with relationships, honesty and communication can be very, very important. With your friends or with your girlfriend, being upfront about your thoughts, your feelings, when you make a mistake, things like that, it just gives the door for real communication, and communication can help lead to being more honest with one another. When you've got that, you've got a pretty solid and strong relationship that can handle different things that it might get thrown at it. That's not about being blatantly honest or bold or just throwing tact out the window. It's about being real and being vulnerable, being able to say, hey, this is where I am at. It might not always be the easiest thing in the world, but it lets the other person hear you, understand you, and be able to trust you. Been with my girlfriend for 6.5 years now. We're going on 7 here very soon. Let me tell you, I've had a few relationships. This one is without a doubt the easiest one that I've ever been in, and I'm so thankful. One of the main reasons for that is because we just are open and we don't keep anything from each other. We're very honest and upfront, and anything that comes up with one another, we'll let each other know. The more of a way is we can move through it together. At the end of the day, lying is really just going to wear you down, and there's something to not being honest and always telling a fib, and that is that the fib is always going to come out eventually, one way or another. It may not be today, it may not even be a month from now, it might be next year, a few years from now. When it does, there will be a fallout that takes place, and it will be much worse than if you're just honest and upfront from the beginning. And even if the lie is never ever found out, it will still always eat away at the back of your head for as long as you keep the lie there. So it's better to have a clear conscience, and it's better to always have a straight story rather than trying to keep 50 different parts in order. If you can wake up every day knowing you have a clear conscience, not feeling that weight every single morning, it's better to have that long-term win than to take a short-term win with just lying, especially if it's for no reason. But yeah, that's really gonna be it for me. Hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm gonna definitely be making this a new series. If you got any specific topics or things of advice that you would like to hear from me, let me know. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. Peace.